database and the management of database. So I will discuss about these points. Uh, as you can see, first is data and database. First thing is data. Data in a simple way we can define as a data as a collection of facts or information or statistics that may be related to a person, that may be related to a organizations, that may be related to a problem or any object or any scenario or events. For example, you have your personal data, professional data, a student has their data of their related to study. So these are the different category of data. So with every person and organizations, data is always associated. So simply data is a collection of facts or information or statistics that may be related to any kind of object, entity, person, organization. Uh, if I talk about statistics, statistics means the data that we are used for analysis purpose to refine our existing data with the intention of finding additional information. That informations can be used for business intelligence purpose to improve our business efficiency or profitability, you can say. Second thing is database. In simple terms, database means a place where we have to maintain our data. You can say the place of storing data. If you have data that you have to store your data at some place. So the place of storing data is known as database. There can be any type of medium, for example, magnetic tape, hard disk, like that. Next one is database schema and instance of DB. Database schema means the structure or overall structure of the database, or you can say the blueprint of the database. That structure you have defined in which you are going to store your data or you want to maintain your data. So database schema is just the overall structure of a database where we will maintain our data and manage our data. Next is instance of DB. Instance of DB means at a particular moment of time, whatever you have whatever exists in your database is known as instance of DB. Means at a particular moment of time, what exists in your database is known as instance of DB. These database schema or instance is very similar to programming language variables and types. For example, in programming language, a variable can store different values at different times. So in a similar way, database is like a structure that can hold data at different types. So you can compare database schema as a variable and data type, right? Next is data view and database independence. Data view means you can say the different way of looking at your data. Means a person can in which manner can look at their data. We can look at our data in different ways. For example, physical view of data, logical view of data, and user view of data. Physical view of data means actually data is stored in our database in hard disk. So actually how data is stored in our database in operating system, file system, that is known as physical view of data. How actually it is stored in our magnetic tape or hard disk. That is the first view. Second thing is logical view. Logical view means the manner in which we are our data is related to each other. For example, if we talk about the data of an employee, it means employee name, employee department, employee ID. So these are the fields which are related to a employees. So this is the relationship which is defined in between the data. So logical view basically define the relationship of data which is exist in data which in exist in our database. That is called logical view. Third view is user view. User view means the data in which actually we want to represent our data to our end user. Data may be exist in physical view in different way. Their relation can be in different way, and we want to display our data to our end user in different way. Maybe we want to see some things to our user, and maybe we want to hide some things to our user. So the view in which we actually represent our data through our user interface, through any web applications, this is called a user view. That means the way of representing data to our end user, it is known as user view. And next is database independence. Database independence means because we have three view of data. There is a logical view, physical view, and user view. Data base independence means if we change the schema of storing or retrieving our data of our physical view, or if we change the schema or way of retrieving data of logical view, it should not affect the way of how data is actually represented to the end user. Means the application which are reflecting our data to our end user should be totally independent on our physical or logical view. Whatever changes we do in physical view or logical view, it should not affect in any way to our application which are used to represent our data to end user. That is called database independence, right? Next point is database management system. If we have data, so definitely we need some kind of its management. So in a simple way, we can define database management system as a software or a set of programs which are used to our data, store our data, to retrieve our data, to update our data, or to manage our data in database. uh, that is called database management system. And there is another term, database system. Database system is the combination of DBMS as well as database. Database is the place where we store the actual data, and database management system is a set of programs or software which are used to manage that data. So these two terms are collectively known as database system. Next point is purpose of designing DBMS, or you can say what is the need of designing DBMS. So it is very clear because for every person or organizations we have data. So first point is to maintain the data of any organization or enterprises, we need a DBMS. Second things, if we will use any kind of DBMS, we can manage the data of any organization in an efficient and secure way, and properly. We can retrieve their data properly, we can store their data properly, or we can update their data properly or manage it. So this is, and third and very important point of designing DBMS is that data should be represented to our end user in a abstract view. Means the user end user which are accessing our data should not be aware how actually data is stored in the database and the mechanism by which data is being retrieved from the database. Means it should not be concern of our end user. They should be totally free, and they should enjoy the interacting with the DBMS. They should not worry about how data is stored in actual database system and how it is coming to at their end. So this is the third purpose of designing DBMS, to free the end user about the way of storing data and about the way of retrieving data for their purpose. Next point is evaluation of DBMS, or you can say what is the need of designing DBMS. So the DBMS is designed basically to overcome, or you can say to resolve the problems which are related to occurs when we are maintaining our data in file management system. Means prior to DBMS, we will manage the data of organizations in terms of file system. And there are many problems when we maintain the data of organization in a file system. So we come to the next point, that is DBMS. File management system is a system basically in which all the data of an organization is stored in different files based on the format of the data. And for every file, we need to create a separate program to retrieve the data based on the structure of the associated file. So the result is that as the data is increased, then we need to create as much as programs to interact with this data or for their management. So this makes a very critical and make management of data very difficult if we manage the data of a organization in terms of files. And when we manage the data of an organization in terms of files, there are many kind of problems, so which we can summarize as a data access problem. If you maintain the data of your organization files, first problem that is very important, that is accessing of data. Second, their isolation of data, means to how to isolate different kind of data. Third is redundancy of data, means when we maintain the data of an organization in terms of files, there can be duplicacy of data. Second is transaction management. Means there is a something terms that is known as transaction. Transaction you can define as a group of operations that should be executed as a atomic entity. Either they should be executed completely or either they should not execute it. So their transaction management is also a challenge in case of file management system. And there is a problem of concurrent access. Means if there is a critical data and more than one user want to access the same data at the same time, that data corruption problems can be occurs. So this is a concurrency access problem. Next is security management of the data. And next one is integrity constants. Different kind of constants we need to apply on our data to maintain the consistency of data. So these are the points which we are unable to implement if we use file systems to manage the data of an organization. If we are using any kind of DBMS, then these kind of problems can be resolved. Means DBMS support easier access, easier isolation, easier transaction management, and it support centralized distributed security, it control concurrency control, it provide to implement various kind of integrity constants. So these are the things which is supported by DBMS. So that is the purpose of designing our DBMS, right? Next is database languages. Database languages, you can say any language which we are used to interact with any kind of database and to work with the database is known as database language. For example, a very common language that is SQL, that is known as structured query language. Structured query language is used to, we can classify structured query language in 4 categories. For example, query language, data manipulation language, data definition language, or data control language. Query language, if you want to retrieve data, some data of your concern, then whatever language we use here, structure we will use, we will say this is query language. For example, select statement, select star from employee. This command basically retrieve all the data of employee table for end user. Second is DM. Yeah.
Yujvendra, one question, sir. Could you please show the slides as well, because we are. Could you show the slides as well?
Yes.
Okay.
This has been covered: data and database,
Yeah.
database schema and instance, and data view, right? And purpose of designing database, evaluation of DBMS I have covered. This is database
sir,
language.
we can continue from here.
Yeah, you can say any language that is used to interact with the database. is known as database language. There are many languages such as structured query language, data log, QB. These are the historical languages. The most popular language is SQL. SQL can be classified in 4 categories. As you can say, query language. Query language basically used to retrieve data from the database. For example, select statement, select star from employee. That statement will retrieve all the data of employee table from the database for end user. Data definition language. This language basically is used to define the database structure. As I told you, database schema is the things that is define the structure or blueprint of the database. So this schema is defined by using some kind of language that is called data definition language, and this language is used by database administrator to define the database schema. After that, database and data manipulation language. When you have data in database, so there is some kind of requirement to retrieve the data, to update the data, to insert the new data, so to retrieve the data. So all these kind of operations come into the category of data manipulation language, because by executing these kind of queries, we manipulate the data which is exist in database. Either you are going to insert something, either you are updating something, either you are deleting something, either you are retrieving something. So all these kind of commands come into the category of data manipulation language. And last one is data control language. I discussed one term that is known as transaction management. So to management of transactions, some kind of commands we use, such as rollback, grant, revoke, commit. So the language which is used to control the data access or transactions execution is known as data control language. So these are the different categories of database languages. Next is database user and database administration. Depending on the different way of accessing the database, various kind of user can be divided into various category. Means the way of accessing, how a specific user interact with the database is defined accordingly. For example, application user. Application user, you can say web developer, software developer who are using some kind of database API to directly interact with the database through some kind of ODBC, JDBC APIs. These users are known as application user, because they use some kind of application program and directly interact with the database through some kind of database API, right? Second, sophisticated user. Sophisticated user, you can say they are using some kind of query tools to interact with the database. For example, database administrator, the persons DBA who are working directly with database, they are using some kind of tool to directly fire DML, DDL, SQL, etc. So these are known as sophisticated user. Navy user, these are the persons who are not aware about the database working, how they are not aware how a application are worked. So these are known as basically black box type of user. We just provide a interface to them to interact with an applications, and then application interact with the database. For example, web user, tele user, tele machine users, say they just use a predefined application program, or they just need to follow the instructions, and that submit data, retrieve data kind of buttons they have to just need to click, and they will get their results. And they are not concerned how the data is going is stored, and they are retrieving back. And database administrator uses query tool to interact with the database. And out of them, there is another kind of user that is known as a specialized user. These specialized user basically are created special database program to interact with the database, or to upgrade database, to optimization of database. So these program basically are not concerned with the related to the database manipulation, DML, DDL, or SQL. So these are the specialized user. They are using a special kind of database programs to interact with the database. Next is database administration. If simply we are going to about administration just is required to control the access of data which is existing database, as well as the associated programs which we have defined to access our data by different users. Because as you know, there are different kind of user of database, so every person can't access anything in any way. So we have to apply some kind of constant security constants that need to be applied. So database administrator is a person who is basically responsible to control that all data should be accessed by the authorized and authenticated person. All the programs, all the objects, database objects should be accessed by the authorized and authenticated persons. He is also responsible to define the database schema. He is also responsible to define the physical schema, how data will be actually stored in physical medium, how will be the structure of logical structure of database, how data will be related to each other, and he will also responsible to create the programs which will used by the persons to access the database. And most importantly, he's responsible to granting and authorizations, various kind of permissions to different kinds of users, how they can interact with the database. Is also responsible for performance monitoring, optimizations, any changes required in database. So you can say he's a person who is totally aware about all the activity that is related to the management of database, no matter the person who is acting with the database, but all the activity should be controlled by the database administrator. He is responsible for monitoring, performance monitoring, optimization of database, and whatever requirements is coming time to time, he is responsible to implement the same. That is the so a database administrator is very important person regarding the database management. So next, come to the structure of database. And as you can see in this structure, this is a hierarchy layered structure of database. And in say at the top, you can say there are different kind of user, Navy user, application, program, sophisticated database, and every user provide an interface by which they are interact with the database. For example, Navy user uses a application interface that is predefined. Application program directly use application programs, sophisticated user some kind of query tools, and database administrator also uses some kind of administrative tools. Means they need to pass their queries that is related to database through these programs, and these queries come into the query processor component, that is the part of TBMS. Means Navy user queries come to application code, application programs query come to the application compiler, and query tools query come to the query DML queries, and database administrator queries pass to the database interpreter. All these components compile their database related queries into the language which will be executed by the query evaluation engine. Basically, query evaluation engine is responsible to execute every request that is concerned to the database operations. So, and query evaluation engine to perform any kind of task that is requested by different kind of user with the coordination of storage manager components. These storage manager components basically are the part of operating systems, because buffer, file manager, authentication manager, and transaction manager, these are the component of a storage manager. Or so query engine coordinate with these components to perform the task that is requested by the different user. And these storage manager component basically responsible to manage our hard disk. Basically, hard disk is the basically place where actual data is exist, which is need to be reflect to the end user, which is need to be modified, which is need to be updated. So you can say at the bottom level there is a disk, hard disk, in which 4 kind of data. You can see data, that is the data related to the any organization or people. Indices, these indices you can say indexes. As you can see in the at the book end page there is a indexes. These indexes are maintained to make our search fast of the required data. So these are the indexes which are created by the database users, and there is another term, data dictionary. Data dictionary is a term that is data about data, means data dictionary store your overall structure of the database and all objects related data to know more about them. That is data dictionary. There is a statistical data. Statistical data is the data that is the result of a statistical process of our existing data. This statistical data is developed for the intentions of finding new information which is beneficial to our decision making in terms of business intelligence. So, and normally statistical data is used by our DML compiler to optimize our queries. Means if a queries has been created one time, so if it's taking some much more time, so in next time in which manner we can reduce its execution times. So that kind of informations can be retrieved from statistical data, and after that query can be optimized for their next time fast executions. And so this is the overall structure of the database. At the lowest level, there is a storage component where data, indices, data dictionary, statistical data exist. Then storage management component, these are the part of operating system. And then query processor components, that is the part of our DBMS. And at the top, we are the application and user applications by which we are providing different kind of requests to be performed with the database. So there is a user, there is an interface, then query and DBMS, then operating system part, then ultimately disk where data is actually stored. Next, just this is the written description component of DBMS, query processor components, storage manager components, that is the part of operating system. You can see disk storage where actual data is stored, and data access program are stored which are used to access our data. Query processor components, you can say DML compiler. It is used to compile our DML statements, data base related command into the lower language, which can be executed by the query processor engine. Embedded pre-DML compiler, that is used to compile your application program into concerned compiled language, which is further compiled by a DDL compiler, so that the DML part can be executed by the query engine. And next, storage manager components, buffer manager, file manager, transaction manager, authorization, and integrity manager. Buffer management is basically responsible to transfer data from hard disk to the main storage, basically. File manager is responsible if you are going to store some kind of data in database, then you need to create some file in disk. So there is a file creation requirement, there is a file closing requirements, there is a data defining data structure defining requirements. So these all are kind of operations come under the category of file manager. There is a transaction manager. Transaction manager is responsible that if a transaction is going to be executed by a database, then it should be properly completed. That is the responsibility of transaction manager. And there is a authorization and integrity manager. This is the component of storage manager component, which is responsible that every request should be come from a authorized user, and it should be not affect the operation which is performed by that request should not affect the data integrity in any way. Means data which is existing database should be always in consistent state, or you can say it should be correct and complete. There should be no any operation should be executed such kind of that will decrease the consistency of database. Should be in consistent state. That is the responsibility of authorization and integrity management. And at the last, disk storage, you can say data that is related to a person or an organization. Indices, data, these are the indexes which are make our search fast on existing data. Data dictionary, that is maintain the data about data. You can say if you are created table, so if you want to get the structure of the table, so this information is stored in data dictionary. Different kind of stored procedure, functions, information that is related to Oracle database management, and any codes, all these are stored in data dictionary. Statistical data is the output of
1 second, sir. One
yeah.
second, sir. Could you ask participants to mute themselves?
Yeah.
Could you ask participants to mute themselves? 59335 has joined. 595.
Yes. So what you want?
Could you ask participants to mute themselves?
Hello.
Yeah. Just ask the participants to mute themselves. Yes.
Yeah, please mute the person which have been joined, please. Please mute from your side. Thank you.
Continue. Yes, please continue.
Yeah. So this storage component I have discussed: data, indices, data dictionaries, and statistical data. Statistical data is the output of any statistical process that is done with the intention of finding additional informations by applying some kind of mathematical or statistical methods on existing data, so that we can get more useful information in terms of hidden patterns or correlations. Based on that, we can improve our decision making. So you can say this is very popular terms, data analytics. So statistical data is basically very useful in the terms of data analytics to improve our productivity of our business, to improve our efficiency of business, to do our new innovations, to change the way of doing our process. So this is the useful in terms of data analytics, which is very popular right now. Next, last one. This is the functionality of various component, as I discussed you. Query processor component, you know, there is a DML compiler, query engine, application, DDL interpreter, embedded pre-compiler that is used to compile the application program in the concerned host language. For example, if you are using a Java program that need to be compiled in a bytecode, so this will be compiled through the Java compilers. So this Java compiler is included embedded DML compiler. It means whatever database related queries over in the Java program will be compiled in the DML procedure calls. Means this procedure call further pass to the DML compiler, which will be break into the some lower level instructions that will be executed by the query processor query engine. So DML compiler is what actually do. It will break the DML statement into the small lower level instructions that will be executed one by with the query engine. And DDL interpreter, all the DDL command, data definition language command, is interpreted by the DDL interpreter, or you can say these are further break in small statements that will be executed by the query engine. And query engine, as you can see, it is responsible to execute all the DML commands with the coordination of the storage manager components based on the task which is requested by the end user. Means whatever kind of task has been requested, accordingly query engine need to interact with the buffer manager, file manager, transaction manager, and authentication or data integrity manager, and they work accordingly. Storage management component, file manager is responsible to allocate the space for creating new files, as well as the data structure which will be stored in the concerned file. Buffer manager is useful to transfer the data in between the secondary storage to main storage, as well as to define the what data should be exist in a cache. means cache is a memory, small size memory that in which we have to put a important data or the or you can say the data which is required on high priority. So this is this all kind of decision is taken by buffer management. And next is transaction manager. This is responsible that if there is a something that is a transaction need to be executed, it should be executed properly. Either it should be executed completely, or if there is a problem, it should roll back. For example, there is a simple example. If there is a bank related transaction, there is a debit in from some one account and credit in some another account. If debit has been done and the system has been failure, then credit will be stopped. So this is a improper execution of transaction. So these kind of activities are either should be executed completely, or if any failure, all things should be rolled back. So this is some kind of transaction. So if there are some kind of operations which required to be executed as an atomic entity, then this is the responsibility of transaction manager to execute them properly. Last, authorization and integrity manager. This is responsible that every request which is coming to database should be come from the authorized user, and authorized in the sense the person who is authenticated to enter in the system. For example, different kind of security. First of all, you have to open the system, then there is some kind of login facility by the operating system. This is system level security. After that, there is a database management level security. You are able to log in through the proper password. And after that, if you are able to access particular table, views, stored procedure, there is another kind of security. So there are many kind of security levels. After crossing these security levels, a specific authorized user can perform some kind of interaction with the database through the proper channel. So this is the authorization. And data integrity means data integrity, simply we can define the data which is exist in our database should be always correct, complete, and proper. So this is integrity, means the correctness and completeness of data should not be affect in any way. So this is the responsibility of data integrity manager. There are some kind of integrity, domain integrity, entity integrity, referential integrity, and value integrity. Domain integrity, basically, if suppose there is a table have a specific column, and we can provide only 5 specific value to that column. So I will say this is the domain of that column, means this column can have only these 5 values. That is called domain integrity. Second is value integrity. Suppose a variable is a number type, and I can say it can have only value 0 to 6. So if I will try to give any negative value or the value that is more than 6, so this will break the integrity. So this is come into the category of value integrity. Then entity integrity. Entity integrity ensure that every table should have a unique row, means two different row can't have all same contents. So there is a uniqueness of the, this is entity integrity. And last is referential integrity. Referential integrity is very important. When we are defining working with relational database, we have to define relationship in different tables or data through references. So if a table is dependent on another table to have data, some kind of data, so before if someone person are going to insert, update, delete something, then that whatever is the dependency on another table should be properly matched. If there is any conflict, then there should be not permission of insert, update, delete of data in particular table. So this is called referential integrity, or you can say dependent dependency of one table on another table. So that dependency should not be break. Last, disk storage component. Data, as you can say, collection of facts related to enterprise and an organization. Static data, as I told you, these are our intentions to find new data which is helpful in our business intelligence, to take new innovations, to improve our business purpose. This statistical process is done basically for the purpose of business intelligence. Means, for example, you can say in previous days we are using the concept of data warehouses. Data warehouse uses the historical data and do some kind of analysis and provide the business additional information that will be helpful for decision maker to take decision for their optimized business processes, to improve their profitability, to increase revenue, to satisfy their customers. So all kind of business intelligence is based on statistical process or mathematical processes outputs, which is visualized on and that visualization basis our decision maker take decisions so that our business can be improved in each and every way. Data dictionary, you can say, hold the overall logical structure of the database, which is defined the database administrator using database language. So that is all from my